Welcome to the Intuitive Websites Internet Marketing Podcast, bringing you the country's top podcast on the subject of internet marketing. I'm your host, Glenn Thayer, and today we're going to discuss the sales process for website leads. I'm here with the CEO of Intuitive Websites, Thomas Young. Well, in our last podcast that we had, Tom, we talked about the importance of a web lead. You want to kind of talk to us about what we talked about so we can go back into the sales process here?
Absolutely. I mean, go back and listen to the podcast, but kind of to summarize it, people that are contacting you have done their homework, and these sales leads are very important. You've got to move quickly, and you've got to have a process for responding to these leads. And then what we want to do today is dive deeper into that sales process.
Well, in your book, Intuitive Selling, you talk about the sales process and how that works. Well, how can we integrate that sales process into the web leads?
Well, real quick, I want to take a look at the traditional sales process and talk about how web leads fall into that. The traditional sales process is comprised of four areas. There's the concept of prospecting, which is how you go out and find leads, or your first meeting and greeting with people. You're actually just going out and developing a marketplace. That's prospecting. The second part is qualifying those folks that you have prospected to. So, once you meet this person, you think they're the appropriate lead, well, you begin the process of qualifying them, which is done through asking probing questions and then being a great listener. Once you've qualified and you have an understanding of what they need and what they're looking to do, then you can present. You can present what your company does, talk about your services and products and how you can meet their needs. And as you do that, you may run into a few objections and concerns that they have, and there's ways for dealing with that. Following presenting, then you move into trial closing, where you ask questions like, how does that sound? Is this meeting your needs? Are we heading in the right direction? Those are all trial closes. And then from trial closes, you move directly into closing the sale, writing the contract, getting the signature, whatever. That's a traditional sales process.
And getting paid.
Right? The check in the mail or whatever.
Exactly. Well, how does that differ from web leads, the sales process on the web?
Well, what the internet has done is it's really changed this traditional sales process, where in the past prospecting was so important. And if you remember, all the cliches about the traditional salesperson, out there meeting and greeting and shaking hands and belly to belly and prospecting people left and right. Well, now consumers and even in business to business, when they're on a website, they are the ones driving prospecting. And the website and your presentation on your website is what is doing the prospecting. So when a lead comes to you, they're already deep into your process. They have already qualified themselves as being interested. They've done all the prospecting work, probably looked at several websites already. So what you've got to do is have a combination of listening and asking the right probing questions, and then doing some minor presenting to kind of cover what they didn't get in the website. And then also, what the internet has done is made it necessary for us to move so quickly. There used to be a time when you'd prospect, you'd say, when should I get back with you? Oh, get back with me next week, that sort of thing. That's not happening now. On the web, it's happening instantly. If you're not getting in touch with somebody immediately when they're on your website,
you're going to lose business.
They're going to go somewhere else. They got another website and someone else who will get back in touch with them quickly. And then the final part of this is that, and this is true of any sales process, is that most sales don't happen on the first or second meeting. It's going to take some time for that sale to nurture and happen. And I'm thinking of more of high ticket items and things like that.
Not as much as something that's e-commerce driven.
Not so much e-commerce you can buy on a website, but the bottom line with that is you've got to stay in touch over time and be in the front of their mind when they are ready to make a decision. So your stay in touch program is absolutely critical. So kind of to summarize it, what the internet has done to the sales process is it's taken more of the liability from the salesperson to pitch and to sell, and turning salespeople more into information gatherers and follow-up people. Okay, so the whole idea of prospecting has really been cut down.
Well, should somebody develop a sales strategy in the process for handling those leads that come in?
That's a great question, and the way to think about this is to think about it in terms of selling milestones. Now, you can have selling milestones in the traditional sales process as well, but the selling milestones define your strategy, and they are going to be different for every industry that's out there. I'll give you a few examples of what they might look like. Let's take a home builder or a realtor. So someone's selling a home. What is a selling milestone? Well, a selling milestone might be converting a web lead to a telephone conversation. taking a telephone conversation to a tour of a home, taking a tour of a home to a credit app, or talking to a mortgage lender, taking that credit app and going into a closing date. Those are all selling milestones, and it started with the web lead being generated. If you're, say, in a high-tech company, your selling milestones are going to be completely different. They might still include an initial telephone conversation, but then they might move into doing a web demo or sending out a CD of a sample of your software and reviewing that with maybe some of the high-tech folks in your company. The bottom line is that your strategy is comprised of these selling milestones, and what you want to do is take that web-based lead and move them through the milestones. One of the mistakes salespeople make is they try to jump to the close too soon. Don't jump to the close. Just go to the next milestone. Take it one step at a time, and then the close will come naturally.
How does a company go about setting up milestones or know which milestones are appropriate for them?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is your sales management and marketing team, and the senior team needs to sit down and define the sales process, define the milestones. And all of this ties into your internet marketing plan, how you generate leads, how you follow up with leads. And then it's absolutely critical that you train the sales team to follow these milestones, and that you put systems in place that track the sales team's effectiveness at reaching milestones. One of the things you'll find with sales teams is they can be all over the board as far as what they're good at. Got some salespeople that are great at setting up telephone conversations, great at doing demos, great at asking probing questions and listening. Then you've got other salespeople that are closers. They're great at getting the contract written, getting the signature done, and so forth. You've got to identify who on your team can do what, and you identify that by watching them move through selling milestones.
Well, you talk about follow-up as being something that's important, and now obviously the two of us are totally clear on that. Without follow-up, you don't get the sale.
Absolutely.
So what should companies be looking at as far as the follow-up?
Well, the follow-up is part of that sales process. And anybody who's a potential lead, whether it's an e-commerce lead that's come in and bought something from your website, or whether it's somebody that's contacted you for the first time, these folks need to be put into some kind of system that follows up on them. In fact, it's a good idea to have a name for this in your company. You might call it your Stay in Touch program. You might call it your Nurturing Marketing program. You might call it, our follow-up system or method. But basically, you should be able to take every contact that's come into your business and somehow develop a relationship with them using either automated tools or even traditional mediums, and also using your sales team to develop a relationship. Now, it's real important to know that you should not rely solely on the web for this. You really need to talk to these people that are coming in as leads and find out what mediums they prefer. You might find that a simple postcard is going to be more effective than an email program. I mean, for sure the email program is going to be cheaper, but find out which medium that works best for you to stay in touch. Yeah, and then automate it. Make it so that you don't have to think about it. It's the Stay in Touch program is going to run every week, regardless of what sales management's doing.
Now, you mentioned postcards as one way to follow up. Can you give our listeners some specific follow-up ideas that you have seen in other companies that may be traditional or even non-traditional for follow-up? We understand about email programs that say, hey, little stay in touch, email reminders, we get that. But what are some other things that our listeners can actually utilize that you may have seen?
Well, we do a lot of work with the ski industries here in Colorado, and they get tens of thousands of visitors on the websites, and the traffic to some of these ski websites is enormous. So what you want to do is, for the people that come into the website and make some kind of contact with you, you definitely want to have a very sophisticated email program. That email program should know what ski resorts they visit. When they visit the ski resort, what they tend to do. Like, for example, do they come with their family for overnights? Are they day skiers that just zip up there because the weather's good? Are they coming from out of state and making huge plans to stay for a week and all that? All of your contact with these folks needs to be directed at the kind of skier that they are. And really, when you look at skiers, you can only put them in 3 or 4 different kind of groups. And you've got to also find out, are you more likely, is this skier more likely to respond to an email? Is a skier more likely to respond to a direct mail piece? Or should they be on a callback? Should someone in the call center call them back and help them plan their next ski vacation? If they're coming out for a week to ski at Copper Mountain, they're going to spend in the 5 figures possibly. So that's an important phone call. All of this stay in touch type of work needs to be directed at the type of marketplace that you're talking to.
Now, in getting, skiing is probably a great example of this for a ski website for a resort. How would somebody go about getting additional information? Let's say, obviously, if somebody has stayed at the resort before, that resort has that information. They have who they are, who they brought. Did they bring their family? Did they bring, how many people are in the party? How long did they stay?
Absolutely.
How many lift tickets? You have all that information. So it's really simple to send out a postcard because you have their address.
Absolutely.
But when you're dealing with somebody who may be a day skier, who may go up, maybe somebody who lives in Colorado, it's going to go up to Copper Mountain for the day and ski and then go back home. You don't have any of that personal information on there. How would you suggest getting that information to be able to get somebody on a mailing list where you can keep in touch via postcards or something like that?
Well, yeah, you want to use incentives to get people to give you information. We work with a client, Bosca Leather, out of Ohio, and one of the best promotions we run is you get a discount when you sign up for the email list. It's pretty straightforward. But that really drives sales. 10% off when you become an email subscriber. And they do. They come in droves and sign up for the email and get their 10%. Well, you can do that the same thing with skiing. You can offer incentives. You have free sandwich and cup of coffee or something at one of the. You may not be able to discount a lift ticket because of regulations around that, but you can discount other things to drive them to give you their email information. And we know even when they show up at the resort, you can have a special a booth giving away a free coupon to a restaurant or something if they come in and give in their email. Over time, when you talk about hundreds and hundreds of emails, it will pay off for you many times over.
Now, you can do that same thing and utilize that same process as far as an incentive. Maybe enter to win here for a 2-day, 2-night ski trip, ski vacation at Copper Mountain. And when you fill it out, it asks for your mailing address. Now you have a mailing address database.
Absolutely. The bottom line really, and no matter what industry you're in, is that your customers have hot buttons. They have things that get them excited about doing business with you, whether they're going to ski, they're going to buy a home, they're going to buy your software, whatever it is they're doing. Those hot buttons need to be addressed in your Stay in Touch program. Okay? And we've talked about this before, and you can listen to our podcast on email marketing. Email that is important gets read. Email that's not important gets deleted. Your email needs to be important. Your follow-up program needs to have important content.
So if you're going to be the ski resort once again, which is I'm a big skier myself, so that kind of plays into this, and I'm on some of those lists. I'm on Copper Mountain's list, actually.
So you get the emails, absolutely.
So I get the emails when it says, hey, we just got 2 feet of snow. Come on up.
That's right.
Because that's of interest to me. That's important. Now, how important it is in the whole scheme of life, it's not that important. But I'm a skier, and I'll tell you, I want a powder day.
Absolutely. And if you get that email, the night before or the morning of, and we're close enough where we can zip up there and be there in a couple hours and be on the slopes. This is really a strategic approach to what you're doing with your business. And the bottom line, I guess, is that a lot of companies don't do this. They don't have this kind of follow-up program, and large or small. It's a great way for maintaining and growing your business.
Well, we end each of our podcasts with an action item plan. So, Tom, what are the action items that are key for the listeners for this podcast?
Well, I'm going to turn the action items today into a series of questions. These are questions that you need if you're a CEO or a business leader or whoever. You've got to get answers to these questions. If you don't have answers to these questions, then it's going to be tough for you to have a sales process that works for any kind of lead, website lead or not.
So, folks, get out your pens right now because this is what you are going to need, or you're going to need to listen to this podcast over and over and over until you memorize them.
You may want to write these things down. Number one is what is your strategy for handling website leads? Write that down, jot it down, and take a look at what you're currently doing. What are your steps then in converting web leads? What kinds of questions do you ask these people? What are the milestones that you move them through to get the close? And then how do you follow up? Take a look at the stats and the data. What is your current conversion rates? Look at traffic coming into the site. Look at traffic that converted to a lead. And look at leads that convert into a sales. And measure all that. As you start to develop your process, hopefully those numbers will improve. In fact, they can improve significantly. Look at your traditional sales process. What have you done in the past? And take a look at where web leads fit into this. Don't give web leads the same process you give other leads because they're probably not going to need it. Keep in mind what we talked about here. Also, how do you follow up with leads and sales from the web? So, if you're a skier and you've been out to Copper Mountain, you want them to come back. You're going to follow up with folks even if they purchase with you. What content areas and pages on the website generate leads? And we've talked about this in previous podcasts as well. Take a look at where leads are coming from on the web. Think about other technologies like live chat. Live chat is still very few companies use live chat and very few users are interested in it. But that type of technology and other technologies, they're worth keeping on your radar screen because they could take off over time. And then finally, go back and take a look at what happens after a sale is closed from your website. Take a look at what happens after the order is placed and the person receives their widget. What do you do with that customer? And that pretty much is it. Do these things, and I think you're going to see some great results.
Now, you should also bring in, one thing to note is definitely if you're listening to us and you have sales and marketing managers underneath you, you definitely want to share these questions with them and maybe involve them in the process so they have a clear understanding of what to do with those web leads. Would you agree with me on that?
I think that training sales management in this process and in making these things work is probably the single most important thing you can do because they're going to be the drivers of implementing all this.
Well, we've covered a lot of information in our podcasts over the last year, and there's a lot of information we have online. So you can go back in, you can listen to all the podcasts that we've done so far. But however, if you want us to talk about a specific subject or topic here at Intuitive Websites, we want you to send Tom an email at tom@intuitivewebsites.com. Once again, it's tom@intuitivewebsites.com. Shoot us an email. Tell us what you would like us to talk about on our upcoming podcasts. Just reminding you that this has been the Intuitive Websites Internet Marketing Podcast. And for more information and to see all the available podcasts and much more, visit intuitivewebsites.com.